brother?
Boys Podcast.
Gavin Garrett here, another episode. Smith Boys Podcast. We're going a little bit off the wall here.
Yeah, outside of the state of Michigan, outside of the murder bit.
Yeah, we're not doing the Lions. We're not doing the Red Wings.
Nope.
We're not doing movie reviews of Point Break.
Or Michigan football.
We're not doing Michigan football. We're not doing Alabama Crimson Tide.
No.
Now, on this show, I've disclosed it before in the past that I lived in Las Vegas for a while, and I'm kind of a Raiders guy, okay? Even though they were in Oakland for a long time and recently moved to Las Vegas. So I'm kind of a Raiders guy.
Your intensity, brother, fits the Raiders, just dysfunction.
Yeah, it does. It's polar opposites.
Yeah.
Because we're going to break down the Raiders today.
That would be a waste of time.
The Las Vegas Raiders.
Brother's second love. I don't know. You love the Raiders. You really love the Raiders ever since that they decided that they were going to move to Las Vegas. Brother lived out in Las Vegas. Now you're a fan of the Las Vegas Golden Knights too. Would you say you're a fan of the Golden Knights, brother?
Yeah.
I'd say if the Red Wings ain't in it, I'm pulling for the
So
old
you're pulling
Golden
for the
Knights.
Golden Knights because of the Las Vegas connection.
Yeah, I got an affinity for
That's
him.
brother's second hometown to him is Las Vegas.
Wish it was still my first hometown. Loved it.
So
Beautiful.
obviously, and that's one place I think that we should go try to watch a football game.
Oh, yeah.
Is,
And we're gonna do a
the
Smith
beautiful
Boys
stadium,
podcast
the
there.
beautiful stadium that they built.
We're going to go to the Flamingo right by the pool and do Smith Boys Podcast. Say,
Okay.
look at all these assholes out here.
All right. So now the Raiders are sitting at just an abysmal
2-7.
brother,
Terrible. Take a lap.
an abysmal 2-7.
2-7. Yeah.
And they were
2-7.
playing today
Against the
the Denver
Broncos.
Broncos, a divisional game. It's at halftime right now.
We can't
They're
watch it. It
losing-
ain't on TV. They're down 10-7
They're
last I
losing
saw.
10-7.
Yeah. Derek Carr looks like he's playing pretty well today
And
when he's not when he ain't crying up on the stage.
So let's talk
Little
about
crybaby.
it. So you bring that up. You bring up Derek Carr crying at the presser last week, and I got to be honest.
Crying like a bitch.
Hey, I think that he
Too far?
Well, I think he's had a lot of emotion after that game. I think he's really frustrated with the performance of the team.
Why? Because they lost to Jeff Saturday?
Yeah,
They lost to
well-
a head coach that was a damn center for however long, and he's been an analyst for the last 5-6 years on ESPN, has no coaching experience, and then came in his first game as coach, beat your ass. Yeah, I'd be a little sad too and pathetic.
Brother
Because that's
really
what it
likes
was.
the Raiders. Brother really likes the Raiders.
Hey, brother, it just pissed me off
He's
because
got Raiders
I've
paraphernalia.
I've
He's
seen
got
it
Raiders
too many
shirts.
times.
He's got Raiders hats and stuff. He's like one of these Raiders people. He's a Raiders person now, Raiders guy now.
You picked the wrong man to mess with.
The guys that wear the Darth Vader shit and stuff, like, he's close to that.
God.
God.
So, to me, the Raiders are just almost...
They're worse than the Lions.
Yeah, almost worse than the Lions.
They are
I mean,
worse than the Lions.
But the Raiders have actually won Super Bowl. The Raiders have actually done something.
Brother, you're talking another lifetime.
Well, the Lions in any lifetime have never done anything.
That's true.
Okay, they have the Lions. No team has been reborn more than the Lions and done nothing with every life.
The Raiders do. The Raiders have a history, which the Lions do not have. The Raiders have kind of a culture, a moxie, a tradition
And
about
Al
them.
Davis,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful, just win, baby,
Yeah.
kind of a thing,
Yeah, they're known for being kind of like the rebels of the NFL,
Yeah.
the gangsters of the NFL,
Yeah,
kind of.
the tough guys, the bad guys.
Yeah, like if you play for the
villains,
Raiders, you play for the
heels.
Raiders, you're a heel, you're a bad
You're a
bad
heel.
guy.
Lyle Alzado, Howie Long,
Yeah, all them guys.
Jack Tatum, Fred Biletnikoff, all those guys,
Bad guys.
Yeah. Well,
And they suck this year.
the Raiders, I think they came into the season having a lot of promise. They signed Devontae Adams coming in.
Traded for him.
Yeah, they traded for him. They paired him up with his Fresno State counterpart, going way back, Derek Carr, who is just a total bum. I have seen this guy. I don't care. I'm going to get... Hey, this is my turn to rant. I know this is the Brothers Podcast, but this is my turn to rant. I remember when they were the old Oakland Raiders, not that long ago, but when they drafted Derek Carr, I think it was a first-round draft pick, was he not?
No, I think he was second.
Or maybe he might have second-round
He was
pick.
second-round pick.
Had a great arm, and he still's got a good arm, but it's not as good as it once was, I think. But he could throw it through a brick wall. And he's another one of these guys that he had a good season or 2 or 3 stretch. And he had one really good season, and everybody kind of put him in that tier. And he's kind of been known for that off and on. Like, if he only had this, if he only had that. And he's had that throughout a lot of his career. But now he's got Devontae Adams, and he's still done nothing. He still has done nothing in his career. And
Got a good running game, too. Josh Jacobs has had the best year of his career.
Yeah, he's had Josh Jacobs for a few years now, correct? And so I just don't understand, brother, as an outsider looking at the Raiders. And you still got Derek Carr, and I think Gruden was right. Derek Carr needed to go. Maybe Gruden wasn't all that bad, because now you got Josh McDaniels, and you're no better off. You're no better. What were you with
You're
Gruden?
worse. They're worse.
What were you with Gruden? Were you 500 or something?
With Gruden, I want to say they were like 3-2 before he got fired for being a racist, apparently, and then got fired. And then Bisaccia came in as their interim coach, and they ended up making the playoffs last year. So
yeah, and so you have talent on that football team.
for sure. But brother, the talent is not the question.
And then Josh McDaniels comes in and then does all Josh McDaniels things.
Tries to
Josh
make it the Patriots way.
This is Josh McDaniels' second stint, remind you, in the AFC West, because he coached with the Denver Broncos a number of years ago. He had to be the smartest guy in the room and draft Tim Tebow with the 20-something pick in the first round, right? And then he ended up winning a playoff game with Tebow
against the Steelers. On a lucky quick slant play that went for a touchdown in overtime.
And so, then he inevitably showed his ass.
Flamed out.
Yeah, flamed out. And then kind
went
of
went
crawling back to New England, where Tom Brady was still at his pinnacle, and then went on to win another Super Bowl.
Another 12 Super Bowls with Tom
another
Brady.
half a dozen Super Bowls there. And then everybody kind of thought, oh, maybe he's another reclamation project.
He's turned the corner.
Yeah, he's kind of figured it out.
He's back to being a head coach caliber guy now.
Yeah. Well, the Raiders decided, hey, we're going to take a flyer on it. And, well, it's just totally snowballed in their face. And now they are so in debt to this that they want to fire Josh. In my opinion, they want to fire
Al
Josh
Davis
McDaniels,
came
but
out.
They ain't got the money.
Al Davis came out last week and said that
Davis? You mean Mike Davis? Al Davis. Davis came out.
Mark Davis came out and said that that Josh McDaniels was doing a fabulous job, and that he supports him, is what he said.
What else is he going to say, right?
Right.
What else is he gonna say?
I'm just saying, just for point of reference, he did say that, whatever that means. But as a Raider fan and looking at other Raider fans that I'm reading and stuff, everybody wants McDaniels gone. Everybody's pissed off that he's still there and he's not fired already. And I said it like 3 weeks ago that he should have been fired. How does it
go off the rails, brother, so quick? You're a Raiders guy.
Honestly,
you're tuned into Raiders guys.
I honestly don't know, because this team has talent and had talent until you're looking at Carr at quarterback, who is he's a top half of the league kind of quarterback. Carr, he's top half of the league.
Would you rather have Jared Goff or David Carr?
Derek Carr?
Or Derek Carr.
God.
Well,
I for one choose death.
Well, I would go Jared Goff.
Based on this year.
Give me Goof.
Yeah, based on this year. But you would say Carr is supposedly, in the eyes of the league, kind of an upper half league guy. Top 16 quarterback.
In my opinion, brother, I think Derek Carr is like around 20th.
He's
19th, 18th.
He came in this year with Devontae Adams. They traded for him. They had
Josh Jacobs.
They had Josh Jacobs at running back. They also drafted Zeus White from Georgia to play running back behind him. Zamir White, yeah, they call him Zeus. He was awesome in college at Georgia. But they had Darren Waller at tight end, Hunter Renfrow in the slot. They got weapons everywhere, okay? And now Waller and Renfrow are both on IR, so they're done.
Ouch.
As of like a week ago. And their defense has always been just vomit. Their defense is terrible and has been terrible for years, and it continues to be terrible. Going back and when they drafted Cleveland Farrell, like number 3 overall or whatever that was, the same year I think it was the same year they took Josh Jacobs.
That was a few years ago, right?
Yeah. And he sucks. He's a bum. That was a wasted draft pick. They drafted. They also took Jonathan Abram at the end of the first round in one of those years, and they waived his ass. They released him. So he's gone.
Raiders have a habit of drafting bad defensive players. Remember that one guy that they drafted from TCU had like heart surgery or something like that? And it was a corner. He never did anything.
I don't remember.
Ugh.
But there was quick hits on their
Nothing
draft.
against
There's Cleveland Farrell, who's a bust and a bum that they took in the top 5. There's Jonathan Abram, who I think was a first-round pick, and he's not even on the team anymore. They released him. There was Henry Ruggs, who was a receiver they took at 12 or 13 overall. Yeah, they drafted him just because I was against that from the beginning, just because
Darius Hayward-Bay.
all he could do was run
he
fast.
runs fast.
And Henry Ruggs killed a person in a car, and now he's in jail, and his career's over. So they're...
Well, Hayward-Bay just ran fast, and they drafted him in the first round.
That's all Henry Ruggs did, too.
Yeah. Well, Sebastian Janikowski could kick a 70-yard field goal, so let's draft him in the first round. That actually kind of worked, though.
But, yeah, their drafting's been terrible, so they've not been able to build a good team through the draft for decades. But this team has had talent, and they were, for going into the season, it was pretty
smacking Minnesota around.
It was pretty widely discussed, I would say, that the Raiders were a potential. They were probably kind of penciled in to make the playoffs and maybe a potential Super Bowl type.
Well, they were
team.
never good. They were never going to really be considered divisional. They were going to beat the Chiefs. Is that what you mean?
They were. See, that goes back to sort of this year too. Is that they were beating the Chiefs on.
They've always played the Chiefs tough.
I think they've got 3 or 4 games this year where they've had 2-score leads in the second half.
No, I heard that they were up 17 points 3 times
and lost.
All of those games.
Yeah, they've had 2-score leads in I think 4 different games this year, going into the third or fourth quarter, and they've lost all of them.
I don't know how you do that. And then the other games they've lost have all been by a 1-score game.
So
it's like you are that close, but that's the NFL.
Yeah, and there's players. Devontae Adams had come out and said they were asking him about Josh McDaniels and the culture and everything, and he said that
it's horrible, it's wretched, it sucks, it stinks.
He did the whole, we got maybe players that just ain't buying into the system yet, and it's all that shit. But it's like, this New England way thing from getting these New England guys has never worked anywhere other than New England. Every New England guy that's left to be a coach somewhere else has flamed out.
You say Matt Patricia didn't work?
No, Matt Patricia didn't work. Brian Flores didn't work. Charlie Weiss didn't work. Romeo Crennel didn't work. And now Josh McDaniels didn't work for a second time. So the fact that they even went this route pisses me off, and I didn't want them to begin with. Because I knew that this New England way was a mistake. It just does not work, okay? You had Tom Brady. You had the greatest quarterback of all time. And you got Bill Belichick. That was why New England worked, okay? And when you come to the Raiders, you don't have Belichick, you got Josh McDaniels. You don't have Tom Brady, you got Derek Carr. So you got, you just went from having A-plus class coach and quarterback to having D-minuses, all right? And it's just been frustrating to watch. I quit watching after the first 4 weeks of the season.
Brother's been really disappointed.
Games aren't on TV here in Michigan where we're watching, so I'm streaming them. So I'm streaming them all the time. Hoochie Mama? Hoochie Mama! Hoochie Mama! So I'm streaming them all the time on my phone. And after the first 4 weeks of the season, I'm done. I'm not going to waste my time watching this anymore. They're pathetic.
Well, now you're 2-7, and now you're going to end up with probably a top 5 pick in the NFL.
That's where I'm at.
Top 4.
We do the podcast on the Lions.
And then say the Raiders get a top 3 pick, and
give me Bryce Young. Please.
That's what I'm saying.
Give me Bryce Young.
You got to move on from Derek Carr. You got to move on from Carr.
Trade Derek Carr to the Texans.
David Carr, Derek Carr, doesn't matter.
Trade Derek Carr to the damn Texans or something. Trade your first-round pick and Derek Carr to the Texans to get the number 1 overall pick and draft Bryce Young.
I don't think they have to have first overall to get Young.
I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. But I would like it. I was in tank mode with the Lions when we did the Lions podcast, but now I'm off tank mode for the Lions because they screwed up.
Gotta be off
they
tank.
Screwed up and won too many games. But with the Raiders, they're still in tank mode process. So with the Raiders, I'm full-blown shit, man. I mean, they put Darren Waller on IR. They put Renfro on IR. So, I mean, they are primed for tank mode.
Yeah.
So, to me, it is, you tank, get yourself top 2 or 3 pick. Maybe they draft Will Anderson, and you got Will Anderson and Max Crosby coming off the edge on both sides on defense. That'd be pretty fierce. Because Max Crosby is really the only player they got on defense. That's it. I mean, he's a top 5 defensive end.
He is.
The rest of the defense sucks. They got nobody. I mean, Trayvon Moehrig that they drafted last year.
Hoochie Mama.
Hoochie Mama!
He's hasn't panned out the way that people thought he would. So it's been disappointing, brother. I don't know where you go from there.
Well, let's go down the last part of the season.
Yeah, let's go down the last part of the schedule and wrap it up here. This was just kind of a state of the Raiders podcast.
Well, they're losing to the Broncos today, but next week they got Seattle on the road.
Loss.
At home, against the Chargers.
Loss.
On the road against the Rams.
Loss.
Home against the Patriots.
Loss.
On the road against the Steelers.
Shit, I'll give them a win. Steelers ain't been good this year. And I think the Steelers will be in tank mode at that time too.
Home against the Niners.
Loss.
Home against the Chiefs.
Loss.
6 losses and 1 win.
So I got 1 win the rest of the year.
So you got
that
3
gives them,
wins
that gives them
and 14.
3 and 14, brother.
3 and 14.
With that payroll and the amount of
You
the
could
talent they
potentially have the number 1 overall pick, I think, at 3 and 14.
It's possible. But, I mean, that's wishful thinking. I mean, at 3 and 14, that's like literally just losing all those. They got to win a couple of those with the talent they got. With Adam, just having Adams.
I think when guys quit, they quit. They're playing already for next year. They're playing not to get hurt.
That's
brother.
true.
They're playing not to get hurt. They got, remember in Detroit, they used to say they got I-75 eyes. Where guys are looking south, they're looking Florida. Wherever they go, where do they go, brother? I-90 eyes, whatever they got. I don't know, but
yeah,
they got I-75 eyes.
And then they lose a couple more here these next couple weeks. You're looking at now Josh McDaniels' job is really in question. If they haven't fired him yet. And by that point, when you get to that point as a coach and the players know that your coach is on the hot seat and he's probably going to be fired soon or at the end of the year, then you really quit playing.
Yeah.
So I can see that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping. Shit, give me just 1 win the rest of the year. Give me Bryce Young. All right. So, yeah, that's just a quick stay of the Raiders there.
Yeah,
just something I wanted to wrap about. That was my angle.
Yeah, that was what's your angle, and that was brother's angle.
Till next one, Smith Boyd.
See you.
Out.